is Monday. It is August 29th. The year is 2022. So, I worked on this house for a couple of months. I'm sitting outside on this beautiful Monday morning. I did a lot of work on this house over the summer. I think you all know that from the renovation process I did here. The hardest part for me to accept when working on this house was originally I started off with I wanted to help my brothers. I had a couple of African American contractors come over to this house. And I thought, well, you know, they had been hitting me up saying they're looking for work, and they did various different jobs from tile installation, framing, all kinds of stuff. They came here to the house right after I purchased it, and we went over a few things, and they wanted like a down payment, so to speak, to get started. One guy told me he was on his way to Home Depot right now to get the materials he needed because he was going to start work on some stuff that I needed over here. In fact, he called me from Home Depot, said he was picking up the stuff and he would just pay for it, and I'd just cash app him the money. Since they were too busy, he couldn't do a phone pay. And he said, I'm just going to pay for it, and then you just cash app me the money, and I'll see you shortly. I did proceed to cash app him the money. However, I did not see him shortly. He never returned. He never returned my phone calls. He got the money, and well, I'll take it back. He would say, I'm on my way, I'm coming, and he was making arrangements to come, and he was having this issue and that problem. But basically, he had no intentions of no intentions at all. I don't know who this is. He had no intentions at all of returning back to do this work, and he just took my money. Not a lot of money, but enough that I was like, you know, every black contractor that came over to this house, every one of them was trying to scam me. Every one of them. I was able to work with one guy, and after we went round and round the Marbury Bush, he was upset because I refused to give him any money up front. In fact, he wanted to walk away from the job because he wanted to get paid up front. I'm like, dude, I'm not paying you any money up front because every time I'm giving you guys some money up front, you took my money and you disadvantaged. It happened 3 times. 3 different black contractors took funds from me and never returned and never came back over here. So I learned from this experience. Now, the other guys that came and did the work for me, they didn't ask for any money up front. The painters, the plumbers, the electricians, nobody asked me for anything up front. They came in, started the work, got it done. About halfway through, I paid them then, and then they finished, and I paid them the rest. 2 times I paid them, halfway through and halfway done. That was the correct way to do this. If anybody is coming to your job and asks you to pay a certain amount of money or deposit up front, or they want funds up front, or they want this like that, and the only people who do this is black folks. Do not pay them that money up front without a signed contract. Get it in writing with a copy of their driver's license, their tag number, their mama name, her social security number, their brothers and sisters' name. You better get all the information, where they live at, everything from them niggas. Because they're going to want money up front. And if they want to pay a signed contract, you can take their asses to court. Because you don't need it. These Hispanics showed up here at my house. They did all this work. They didn't ask for 1 dime up front. Nothing. Them niggas, on the other hand, I couldn't work with them no more. So every time somebody black came over here, they wanted a 25% deposit, or they want $100 just to come over to give an estimate. Yeah, I'll kick them niggas to the curb and be done with it. Because, see, basically, I had a guy who came over to look at the closets. He wanted $100 to come over and do our estimate. He was going to deduct that from the cost of the job. Well, I told him I wanted to do the job, and let's get started. He never returned my phone calls after I paid him this $100 for him coming to do his estimate. The agreement was that I give him $100 up front for coming out there, cost of gas and all, traveling over, and then he would deduct $100 from the cost of the job. Well, he never called me back because I'm calling him saying, let's get this work done. He did provide me with an estimate. I said, fine, let's get started. I ain't heard from that nigga since. He took my $100. So what I've learned is this is what these niggas do. They will charge you $100 to come out and give you an estimate. However, can you imagine going from job site to job site, collecting $100 from people to do an estimate with full intentions of knowing that you do not have the time or you're not coming back to do the work? Full intentions that you're not coming back, you're not going to do the work, you have no intention, so you just want to take folks $100 bills. $100. That's it. Per day. So if you do 10 people a day like that, or let's say 5 people a day, you get 5 estimates a day and $100. That's $500 a day. And if you're doing this 7 days a week, that's $3,500 for work you've not done. And I've seen this happen so often. And like I said, this is only with these niggas. Black folks do this. I have not had a Hispanic come over here. These Hispanic guys ran through this house all day long. They didn't ask for no $100 to give me an estimate. I have a guy come over here and look at some tile work. I called him. He's happy in a few minutes. They didn't ask him $100. In fact, this particular guy asked me, did I have the material? I said, no, I did. He said, well, I have some materials that I have. I'm going to bring you what I have. I want you to see, and if you like this, we'll use these materials at no cost. I said, no cost? He said, you can just, yeah, because I have extra. I said, okay. He wasn't even charging. If we decided to proceed forward, he's giving me the materials for free. He just don't charge me for labor. I'm like, wow, that's a good deal. Niggas ain't doing that. I love my black folks, but y'all working on these houses, dealing with these niggas, I learned a lot about these ignorant ass contractors. And these black folks are trying to rip each other off. Another thing with these black contractors, their prices were outrageous. The prices that I received from the vast majority of the contracts that came out, not all, but the prices were so high that it's ridiculous. I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. So you try to work with these black contractors. You try to work with these contractors, but you can't work with them. And yeah, hold on. This is ridiculous. This is Sprint texting me. I was having problems with my laptop or my iPad earlier. I couldn't get through there. It's Natty trying to reach me. Just hit him back over. All right. So anyway, you want to work with these black contractors. They show up here. They want all this money up front. Then they charge you these outrageous prices. It's like, where do you come up with these prices? I'm not going to go into all the details on some of the charges that they asked, but they were 2 to 3 to 4 times higher than their Hispanic counterparts. Now, and I'm not saying that my Hispanic workers came in and did good work. Most of them, the paint is kind of screwed. I got screwed on the paint over here. My fault, because I shouldn't have had them. The last contractor who did some work over here, I had some issues. Everything wasn't perfect, but the work got done. I'll say this, versus me dealing with the niggas who took my money and never showed back up, or were attempting to get money from me and charging 3 times or 4 times. It was outrageous what they were charging. And I kept trying to figure out, why are y'all prices so high? And I'm asking why. I said, but this is what we charge. I said, okay. Then they have to say, well, this is what we charge. You don't like our price? I said, I don't like your price. Get the fuck up out of here. Y'all can deal with them niggas if you want to. Now, I have not renovated a house in a long time, but I see why these black contractors are in trouble out here. Now, the one black contract I did hire would get here at 12 noon and leave at 2 or 3. I'm like, what? I have to leave. I have to go. I'm like, you just fucking got here. I mean, he was just doing some paint work. First off, he said to be done in a few days. Well, he didn't tell me he didn't work on weekends, because come Friday, he put all his equipment inside the house. And said, I didn't see him at all Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. I mean, so that's another thing. The Hispanic guys work 7 days a week. They came over here work. Okay, they would tell me if they weren't gonna be able to make it. Say we taking a day off for whatever reason. Them niggas left at 5 o'clock. No weekend work. I've even had some guy. I've had black contractors that we don't work on weekends. So Hispanics, they work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If they can get over here, they gonna get over here and work. Different work ethic. I mean, it's just a totally different world. I have nothing against these black contractors, and don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are some excellent black contractors out there, and I was just working on just one house. I couldn't get to everybody. But the folks who did show up at my door were full of S-H-I-T. They showed up in these fancy trucks, this stuff blazing all over, these wraps and everything. I mean, these fancy trucks with wrapping, and they would come in here and with new uniforms on. This was the black folks had. They always, we black folks, we about style. They get their name and blazing on them, working there, they walking around. But I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Y'all just here to but see, they're so caught up in these fancy trucks and these advertising and wraps and all this stuff on their trucks. The other workers, the Hispanic workers, showed up in raggedy ass trucks, came in here, did the work, and get the fuck on. I have one more bathroom that I need to do in this house, and so I'm waiting for this contractor. I met with him yesterday, a Hispanic guy. He came in, he said, Walter, I like working with you. I'm going to demo the bathroom, take everything out. I'm going to give you a good price. I'll let you know. I'm going to try to do everything within 1 week. That old 1 week bullshit. I said, okay. I cut him short right there. I said, but we don't necessarily, if you can do it in a week, fine. If not, don't worry. We don't want to rush this. Lie to me about no damn 1 week. That's one thing the Hispanics will do is lie to you in 1 week. I don't think they understand what 1 week means. Realistically, some stuff cannot be completed in a week. I don't care if all the materials are here. There was just some things maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, but 1 week is not realistic. So if somebody tells you they can renovate a kitchen or a bathroom or in 1 week, okay, well, don't believe that bullshit. That ain't gonna happen. Trust me, I don't think that's possible. But today is a beautiful day over here outside. I was disappointed that I really couldn't work with these black contractors the way I wanted to. I was praying and hoping that I could have got a lot achieved with them. Because I bought the house and they all came over here at the very initial beginning. I quickly realized when I gave those first couple of contractors cash and they never returned my phone calls, I knew there was nothing but trouble. Get over here! I knew there was going to be nothing but trouble. Grayson just determined I'm not going to do these videos in peace. Come here, Grayson. Look what I got. Look. Hey, come over here. Come here. Look what I got. Come here. Come here. Why are you barking and making all this racket? You want that too, don't you? No, you do, but guess what? You ain't getting that. Come on here. You going to bark. Come on, y'all. Say, good morning, Grayson. Look at the video. Say, good morning. Good morning. You don't want this coffee. You want some water. Let me put him inside so he won't be barking. Here's the funny part. Normally when I'm inside the house doing the videos, he don't want to come outside. You have to kind of force him to come outside. Now I'm sitting outside doing the video. He run around on the porch barking at everything. Why? You just be in a bed, demon dog. Hold on a second. Let me put his ass back indoors. Oh, I can't even get my ass about this chair. Whew. So anyway, working with those contractors was a nightmare. Trying to work with these. So I know a lot of y'all want to work with these black contractors. I'm telling y'all. If them niggas show up there asking for some money up front, don't give them one dime. You better get a contract. You better know their asses. You better get it in writing, a start, complete, and finish date. Now, I had one contractor, he came over here, he was Hispanic, he wrote out everything in such great detail. I wouldn't mind working with him again, so there were some issues with him too near the end. Whatever you do, before anybody starts work on your house, get everything in writing. Everything in writing. everything. Get everything in writing. I don't care, right down to the details of what type of nails they will be using. Get everything in writing. How you want it done. What colors will be used if you're painting. What paint goes on what part of the wall. I mean, you got to get all the details in writing. Everything, if you know like I know. Do not hesitate to get everything in writing. Because if you don't, you will regret it. When they're going to start. When will the completion date be? You need to write everything out in that contract. Specify everything, every detail. Every single detail. If you're playing tile down, what direction the tile would be put in. What type of grout you're going to use. Are they going to use a subfloor? Every detail needs to be, and if you don't understand what should be, if you do, I guess I got lucky because, I wouldn't say lucky, I had been renovating houses since I was in my 20s. I hadn't renovated a house in 15 years. There are some things I wish I had done differently. I could have saved some money over here. There are some people I will never work with again that I work with over here. And there are some people I would gladly invite back in my house to do some work. I had found a great electrician near the end. After we went through a couple of them, I found a great plumber over here. Excellent plumber. After we went through a couple of them. People show up and work and then run out the damn door, and it's just ridiculous. You need people who won't stand by the quality of their work and come back if there's any type of repairs or anything that needs to be looked at. That's what you want. People who will stand by, have a good reputation for coming back, not no fly-by-night artists. Most of the people I've worked with here, I would say 90% of the people I work with here on this house, if I call them, I haven't had any issues getting anybody to come back and look at something that have been done. So far, it's a fresh renovation. Because I had experience with building and renovating homes, I kind of knew what was right and what was wrong. My suggestion is that you work with a home inspector throughout your renovation process, or work with somebody, a third-party person who can supervise the contractors who are in your home working. If you're unsure of how to proceed forward with your home renovation. The most important thing is getting everything in writing. And I would avoid, if at all possible, I wouldn't give anybody any money up front, not one dime. I'm serious. No more than materials, going to buy the materials. You can buy your own damn materials. You can meet them at the place to buy the materials if that's possible. Whenever you have somebody in your home, you might want to be there watching them to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the way you want it done. Or you need to have somebody in there, a supervisor, inspector, or somebody who comes in and look. There are some things I wish I had done differently here. Mainly more, my issue again is the paint didn't come out the way I wanted it to, and I may have to do some repainting later. We'll see. But that's more a preference for me right now at this point. Everything else I'm happy with. There's still some issues that need to be taken care of at this house. A few things. Some minor things I need to run that I'm trying to get over here fixed. Not anything major. Some issues. The houses can be exhausting working on them. That's what I'm doing. Whatever, all the little stuff that needs to be done, I'm going to slowly take my time and do it. I'm going to take my time. That's all I can do at this point. Because I can't continue to sit here and babysit workers all day forever while this work is done. I think some of the stuff can be put off into the fall or even winter time when things slow down. The housing market seems to be, the houses are sitting longer on the housing market. I'm noticing that now. What I'm noticing though, if the house is 100% complete and nicely done, it is selling. But if the houses need work, like this house that I purchased needed a substantial amount of work, they sitting like rocks. Because I know why. Nobody won't be bothered with these workers. Don't nobody want to be bothered with these workers dealing with these damn houses. Nobody wants to be bothered, and I do not blame them, because it's just too much work. And you can find your home that needs no work, go for it. But if you want to tackle a project, I knew going into this that this was a project. Yeah, I knew that. I'm actually looking at some shit they fucked up out here on this porch. You looking around to them motherfuckers. They gotta get these painters back over here at some point, but not today. I just had some flooring installed in one of the closets. Floor and where, you know, sometimes it's best to take if you can take your time and do a project and do it little by little. It's probably more refreshing to do it that way, because you get to see it and you don't really be so stressed out, you know. This was a large home that had a lot of shit going on. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, it is almost complete. It is disappointing that I would have loved to work with a lot of black contractors over here, but I realized I wasn't going to waste my time with them. You can imagine I had black plumbers, heating and air, electrician. I had all them guys run through here. Outrageous prices. They wanted all this money up front. It was just ridiculous. And I just said, okay, I can't deal with these niggas. So before you just hire somebody to come do your work because the color of your skin, you better think about that one. Because if they are charging you 2, 3, 4 times the price of somebody else, that a Hispanic contractor or whoever else, something's not right with these numbers. How are you charging 2, 3, 4 times the price? It didn't make any sense to me. It was just outrageously priced. But I don't know, maybe it's people because they pull up this house and I don't know what these people are thinking. I'll continue to use whoever gives me the best price. I don't care about their race of ethnicity. Best price, good work, quality work, and can finish in a timely manner. And I also had horror stories from a lot of my other friends and family members dealing with these black contractors who stretched this shit out for weeks and months. I mean, I had a friend of mine who gave these people all this money to put a kitchen in her home. I got my kitchen in within weeks, and she's just not getting her kitchen finished, and it didn't come out the way she wanted it, dealing with them niggas. I said, well, you know, she said, I really thought. I said, yeah, I could have told you to leave them niggas alone, honey. Hey, do what you want to do. I'm sure there are some damn good black contractors out there, and in the future, I would love to work with some of them. But the ones I ran through here this summer, rather this spring, summer, I'm not sure what to say about them. And I don't know what to, how to even, well, the one guy who did, black guy who came in and he had some cabinets refinished, he did a decent job. He did a beautiful job. That was one who vanished on the weekends. I mean, literally disappeared on my ass. The cabinets came out very nice. There were some minor flaws that he got away with. I realized that he didn't paint the base of the cabinets. How the hell you paint these? You don't get the bottom part of the cabinet. Maybe he forgot. But anyway, I figured I just painted myself. That was another thing too. I found myself having to come behind a lot of these contractors to finish the shit up on my own. And so when you're paying these contractors, if there's stuff that needs to be completed and they're not done and they won't get paid, you need to hold a large section of that money so they can come back and complete. Do not pay these workers when they are, if there's some stuff that, you need to come back and do this. Okay, but I'm going to hold $1,000 so you come back and do so. Otherwise, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video with you all explaining about my experience over here. Your experience could be different. I don't know. Today is Monday, August 29th. The year is 2022. I'm out of here. I'm going to eat some breakfast and get my day started. Enjoy your day.